Right behind me is my beautiful 2018 Harley-Davidson Road Glide Special. In this video, I'm gonna do something I never ever anticipated doing, and it's talking about the regrets I have by buying this bike. To give you a very brief overview, this is not a stock Harley-Davidson. I did buy this motorcycle used, and I specifically bought this motorcycle used to convert into a cartoon character. It is way too nice outside to be talking to you without being on the motorcycle, so let's gear up and go for a ride. So I am going to be kind of honest with you guys. One of the very first things I regret about buying this motorcycle specifically, I definitely do not feel like I rushed into buying this bike. I found this bike, it was used, I got it for a great deal, but I am actually kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't spend some more time shopping around and test riding different motorcycles. I really do not regret purchasing this motorcycle, but after riding it for so long and then having newer, better bikes come out, this motorcycle is 100% obsolete in the technology that I personally want in a touring bike, and it is very heavy. And that's not something that I'm gonna, get rid of the bike for, because I love this motorcycle. I understand it's heavy. I knew what I was getting myself into when I bought this bike, and we have traveled all over the country together, so it's not that big of a deal. And I don't want this video to come off as me complaining. I'm absolutely not complaining, but it is one of those conversations, like an honest conversation I want to have with you, because sometimes hindsight's a bitch. Currently, Harley-Davidson has released their Lowrider ST, and I can tell you right now for a fact, if that bike was available the year I purchased this one, I bought this motorcycle in August of 2021, I think I probably would have gone with a Lowrider ST. And it's even hilarious because these two bikes, this being used and the Lowrider ST being brand new, actually cost about the same amount of money. You get what you pay for kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I do wish I could upgrade the infotainment system. I actually think I can now. Back when I was wanting to do that, oh, Pan America, heck yeah! Back when I was wanting to do the infotainment system not that long ago, there was nothing available, nothing in stock. So there are still things I could do, but that's another thing I kind of regret about this bike. I really don't want to modify it anymore. I'm real tired the amount of money that I have spent modifying this bike, and I just really want to get back outside and enjoy riding it. And that's probably the second thing I regret specifically about this bike, is I truly feel like I've wasted a lot of really valuable time. I did buy a touring bike to tour, and that's exactly what I've been doing with it, but I just haven't been doing that much of it, at least to me personally. I did just get back from a Smoky Mountain trip on my BMW. Even though it wasn't, physically as far away as some of these trips I've been taking, that trip felt so much more like a traditional motorcycle trip. And I don't know what it was about that trip, but I fell in love with that feeling. Just being able to be like, all right, out of the trips you've taken and the trips you want to take, what are the type of trips that you would actually like to do on this road glide? And hopefully next year when it warms back up again, I don't think I'm going to go to any rallies next year. If I do go to a rally, it's because we're probably having a really cool meet and greet, and that's about it. But to do rally things, I don't think I'm going to do that. I very much want to do more personal motorcycle trips next year. So I don't know how it's going to come off when I say like I regret not taking more trips, but I really do. When I'm on this bike, it hits me in my heart. I love it so much. Touring on it is an absolute dream. I don't have a lot of pain after I'm riding this motorcycle, but I am tired of the types of trips that I have been taking on it. I have a couple iron butts under my belt on this motorcycle, and a couple trips back and forth to Sturgis, back and forth to Florida, and I want to take more for me type of trips, if that makes any sense. And I have this like delusion in my head that I develop a personal relationship with my motorcycle. I encourage everyone to give it a try, because it does make you feel a lot more connected to your bike when you ride and when you travel. But yeah, that's definitely something that I regret about this bike specifically, and my own personal sense of accomplishment. The one thing I do not regret doing, actually
I think I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the list. I had my friends put different header on this bike and a different cam, and oh my gosh, did it absolutely change the way the bike sounds, the way the bike rides, the way the bike performs, and it's lovely. But I do think I regret putting the cam in it. That is simply because handling this bike at very low speed, just like maneuverability type of stuff, it is a lot more intensive and a lot more twitchy, I guess you could say. I was very good with this motorcycle at low speeds. I enjoyed it very much, and then I took that all away to have more power and more lope. Aw, hi pretty horses. Oh my goodness, you guys are gorgeous. Yeah, I definitely love the sound of it for sure, but I do miss the ease of letting go of the clutch and the ease of doing slow speed U-turns and stuff like that. It's not something that I'm gonna change today. It's not something I'll probably change this year. Like I said, I'm really tired of working on this bike. I just want to ride it. So, but that is something that I did have a couple people tell me when I posted that video of modifying the motorcycle. They're like, you're probably going to regret that cam. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. It sounds so good. It's so much faster now. Like, you have no idea what I like. Sure enough, you guys were right. I'm like that stubborn teenage girl, and her dad's like, you're gonna hate working that job. And I'm like, I don't care what you think. You're not my real dad. That is something that I had to learn the hard way. And I do miss an easier ride. So I talked about some of the things I regret specifically about this bike, and I do think, wait, is this road closed in 2 miles? Are you serious? I do think my biggest regret is probably not waiting until a better option came along, but I've really found that this bike fits me and my personality, and I really do enjoy it. I kind of wish there was a slightly more lightweight version of it. Oh, which is something I did want to talk about. I did actually test ride the brand new Harley-Davidson CVO Road Glide, and if I had the money, man, if I had the money and the means, and I didn't just buy this one, basically, I would buy that motorcycle. I truly enjoyed the way it felt. I enjoyed how light it was. It actually felt significantly lighter than this bike that I'm on. But this bike is also made different. They are made to be performance. This one's made to be special, quote unquote. It's a touring bike. I have these stretched bags. It is more comfortable. I have it slightly lifted. I have a softer suspension on it, and I truly love touring on this bike. But yeah, man, just the way the CVOs handled and looked, I really loved it. And that is something I could totally see myself upgrading to in the future. But then that's another subject of conversation, is I think I've determined that I will not keep Appa forever. You know, I think I have my forever Harley-Davidson. I do think it's my Dyna. I still love that bike very much. And with the new modern accessories and technology coming out, I'm for it. I know this is not going to be my forever motorcycle, and that's why next year I'm really going to do my best to put as many miles on this bike as I possibly can. I want to see this motorcycle get over 100,000 miles, and then I'm probably going to start thinking about her 2 wheels and what I do and the type of stuff that I want to continue doing. And that's really going to help me narrow down what I think my dream bike is. And I do have look at him, get it? I do have a bit of something that I would like to talk to you guys about, just to see like what you're thinking. I love the Harley-Davidson Pan America. Absolutely love that bike. I think it's an amazing machine. I love the way it looks. I love the way it rides, the way it handles. The thing about it for me is, number one, the price. It was bad timing. I already bought this bike. I am not made of money, so this is a lot of gravel in the corner. But the thing about the Pan America for me, like I said, it is the price. It's not the exact style of riding that I would do. The Pan America for me personally, I would love that as a touring motorcycle, but there are a lot of places that I, being a little Nancy boy, I guess you could call me, a little Nancy boy, the things that I don't want to do on this bike specifically is I absolutely do not enjoy taking this bike down any kind of gravel road. It is lifted. I do have a taller suspension, and I do feel like it's incredibly top heavy for trying to maneuver it over gravel. I'm also not a very experienced gravel rider, especially on a big bike like this, and that 100% limits me to the super cool places that I can ride to. And that's probably the number one reason I would ever want to get a Pan America, is to tour back roads and to experience different campgrounds and Airbnbs and state parks and all of these different things that are more than less ideal to take a big touring bike down. I don't enjoy it, and I don't feel the need to want to try to enjoy riding off-road on a 950-pound motorcycle. So thinking about the things that I have learned on this bike and where I would ideally like to apply my riding career in the future and the type of riding that I want to do, I'm really leaning towards the idea of getting into a more enduro style cruiser, and I don't know if that really exists. When Jordan put knobby tires on his Harley-Davidson Sportster and then did the Mid-Atlantic BDR, he said that his entire perception of riding off-road, riding on sketchy roads completely changed. And he's like, even now, modifying my bike back to, I almost just caught a yellow jacket, modifying my bike back to a more stock style cruiser type of Sportster, he's like, I still feel pretty confident taking that bike off-road just because of what I learned the first time doing it. And I love that, and I would love to get more in mind with my bike, and I feel like the only way that actually happens is when you put in the seat time. 100%, you put the seat time, you ride your bike across the country, and by the end of the season, you know it like the back of your hand. And that's another thing that I think a lot of people don't realize or remember about many of us who live in the northern states. We do have seasons, and if you're not a proficient rider and riding year-round, you do kind of ebb and flow with your skill set. Every spring, you know, there are signs out there saying like, hey, be careful, more riders are getting back out on the roads. I know you're not used to seeing them over the winter months, so just be careful. And then more riders, that's when most accidents happen too, is they're getting back into riding, and you got to remember how to do everything again. You got to reacclimate yourself after not riding for 6 months. So that's why I'm pretty excited this winter for my husband and I to be snowbirding in our toy hauler, and I'll get to ride like for the first time ever year-round. And that's very exciting, because when I say ride, I don't mean hop on the bike and go get coffee a mile down the road. I mean, I want to get out and do a couple 100 miles to go get coffee. That's riding. And if you live in the northern states, you know that those days are few and far between, if at all. This is such a goofy video, because at first I'm like, you know, these are the things I regret about this bike, and then 15 minutes on the bike I'm like, actually I was just kidding. I obviously just needed a Snickers bar and a motorcycle ride to remember how much I love it. God, oh man, my poor husband has to deal with me every day.
I think all I'm really trying to say in this video is there are very few things that I have ever been perfectly satisfied with in life, and if motorcycles is one of those things that I just keep getting wrong over and over again, at least I'm gonna have a lot of fun finding out. Well, this was actually a short and sweet, beautiful ride, and I think it's time to shut the damn camera off and go put on maybe another 150 miles. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. It's very bright. I'm gonna turn this direction, and consider subscribing to the channel, because I would love to have you here with me. Well, until my next one, thank you so much for watching this one. You be good, ride motorcycles, and I'll see you later.